All over again if you want.
All right, so here we are. I just want to acknowledge you for watching tonight, and I appreciate everyone that's watching in recorded version. We actually just did this impromptu. It was very, this is actually the first time we're doing a live interview this way. I was going to do it on the phone, but we figured out technology, even though we just did 5 minutes without realizing we recorded. So we're going to just go through what we just did again. But I'd like to welcome everyone tonight because we have an amazing couple with us tonight. And this is one of these situations where I just feel so honored and blessed to be able to have this couple with us today. They are, a couple that has been part of my journey since almost probably the first 8 months of my journey that they came into this business and they started to see the bigger picture. They didn't know who I was. I was a complete stranger. And at that time, I actually don't know 100% how they were feeling the day they did meet me. They probably had certain ideas of what this business was and maybe, an understanding of what they thought it was. And I hope that with our interview tonight, you get a chance to see that everybody comes from a different place in their background. And everybody has the ability to learn for themselves whether this is something that they want to go for or not. And the cool thing is this family has not only embraced this idea of that's okay, guys. This is all technology. It's awesome. They've embraced the ability to really reach for their dreams and goals with an amazing vehicle that we have. And that vehicle for us is Isogenics. So many of you know what Isogenics is. Some of you might be looking at this for the first time. But really what this is about are real stories, real people, what's happening to families. We're empowering families to really live a life that they deserve to live. So I'm so honored that Kirsten and Rory are part of my life, not only as business partners, but now friends. And I just want to really feature them tonight because we've got a new award on our team. And if you are part of our team, this is something you can look forward to each month. I'm going to be featuring someone or a couple or a family that really demonstrates the ability to believe. And not only believe in themselves, believe in their team, but to really believe in the process and the journey of where they're headed. Because this business doesn't always, happen overnight. It doesn't. It's not a get-rich-quick scheme. It is a business that requires work, but it's a lot of fun. I love that part of it. And you get to partner with like-minded individuals. You get to choose the people that you're spending time with and working with. And you're really seeing people change their situation for the better. So this award is called the Believe Award. And they were the first recipients to ever receive this. And they haven't even received the award yet. I've got it in front of me here. And on it says, Believe Award, April 2014. So I'll just show you guys. And what it says on there, for those of you at home, thank you, Kirsten Rory O'Connor, for demonstrating the continued commitment required to achieve excellence and success. You are making such a difference in the lives of so many others because of your never give up attitude and your commitment for helping others reach their goals and dreams. And that's truly what they've done. In a very short time, they have reached some new goals. They have made new goals for their family, and I know they're going to reach every single one of them. So I'd just like to welcome Kirsten and Rory. Thank you so much for joining us tonight, and I look forward to sharing your story with the world.
Thanks for having us.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
absolutely.
We're excited to be here.
That's awesome, and thank you for being my guinea pigs for this first ever interview or Google Plus thing that we're doing live.
You gotta start somewhere.
Yeah. So what we'll do is I'm just going to ask if you could tell our listeners what you thought about Isogenics before you really understood the business of it. What was your first thought before you really got a chance to dive in? Because a lot of people are starting from that place of, I don't even know really what this is.
I guess for me, like, Kirsten brought it to my attention after she enrolled, but I kind of wanted nothing to do with it. I felt like we already ate like beyond healthy, pretty much got made fun of for some of the food we did already eat because we ate so healthy. And I just stayed on the outside while she was trying products in the beginning, and then there was a night where I finally said, I'll go to a meeting, and we met you, and you took us to Kevin and Pam Barnum's house. That was the first meeting we really went to, and it was a cool night because everything just everybody looked healthy and and sounded very believable. It wasn't. It was that everybody felt like family already, which was weird. Like we just met everybody, but it felt like we were in the right place. And I guess everything kind of just went from there. I started the 30 day about 3 days after that, and I guess like day 4 we started enrolling people because
That's
I couldn't really believe the difference in energy from like we were already eating good. So we added in a few new supplements, and it was a pretty big game changer when you thought you were as healthy as you could be, and you kind of came to life even more. I guess is the easiest way to put it.
That's awesome. I love that because so many people do start from that place of really not knowing what this is, and we have our reasons for saying no for so long, and you just admitting that you were kind of on the sidelines, but you were willing to go and take a look. It sounds like, in a way, you were given a gift that night that you had no idea you were walking into a situation that you felt so at home. Is that right?
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
For us, we had been in another network marketing company, and we didn't get a good feeling from it. So we ended up leaving that company.
But that was like 10 years prior.
Yeah, so I think that was a lot of the reason why Rory was a little bit, sort of closed to it in the beginning. Myself too. I mean, I admit that I was a little shy about it, just because of our experience in the past. But again, just like Rory said, like, we were so impressed when we went to Kevin and Pam's, and everyone was just so welcoming and so honest and so straightforward and transparent that was definitely a difference.
The culture is night and day. It's not like the other company we were with, and it wasn't that long, but with the culture the way it is, it just becomes easy to fall in love with. That's what I would say.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. Well, thank you for sharing that, because it's really important that people understand that it's not just amazing products, but it's actually the environment and the community feel and the family feel that you have there too. So, and one of the questions I actually had for you that you just answered was, were you ever involved in any other network marketing company? So you did say that yes, you were, about 10 years prior to your experience with us. Is that right?
Yes.
That's right.
All right. And you've already said too what your different experience was. So that's 2 questions gone. You've already covered. So that's awesome. Now, I know that you kind of answered question number 4 as well, that at the beginning you weren't necessarily open to this business opportunity because of your past experiences. Now, how long after you started using the products, Kirsten, and I know you were using them before Rory was, how long after before you actually went to your first event where I met you at Pam and Kevin's?
Oh goodness, I think we started in May of 2010.
And that was September when we went to Kevin and Pam's.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So our lovely sponsor Amy was persistent and just kept saying, you got to check this out. Why don't you come tune in home and get some more information? And it was just all about timing. We just said no, it wasn't worth. Just the timing she would ask, it was not good timing. We're not able to make it, or we weren't really sure about whether we wanted to go or not. And then finally in September she'd asked again, and we said, okay, let's just go and see what this is all about.
I think we were also at a time when we were we were looking for something different. We weren't happy with our current situation, let's be honest. I couldn't get out of where I was.
Yeah, and I hear you. I mean, so many times there's different reasons why people take an extra hard look at this, right? It could be a situation they're trying to change for themselves, which is usually their way. So knowing that this is a long-term and very sustainable business now that you've been involved for a few years, is it possible for you, and I know I'm putting you on the spot because I didn't prepare you for this, but is it possible for you to name 3 to 5 key things that really assisted you in keeping focused and moving forward, even if you were having trouble along the way? Oftentimes we look at things such as, rank advancements or getting a certain level or pin or whatever, and there's those carrots that are dangled, things that are really impressive to people that they go after, but clearly you guys, you just had that long-term vision, and it wasn't a matter of if it doesn't happen in a year, because some people put a time limit on themselves that if I'm not making such and such in a year, this isn't a business that's sustainable, I'm getting out. So what was it for you guys that you felt that if you could name 3 to 5 things that really helped you stay focused and keep moving forward, what would you say those are?
I think knowing that even if it took us 7 to 10 years to get where we wanted, it was the best option for our family. And if you're willing to give that up, you'd probably give up on anything. So I think that was number one for me, anyways. And
For me, kind of similar along the same lines. I just feel like I know I've said this before. It's a do or die. So it's either I do this business or I die a slow death working a job that I'm just not happy at, and continuing to search for something better. And I was always open to whatever that was. I wasn't sure what it was, but I wanted something better for us. And now we had started our family, and we wanted something better for our family. I wanted to be home with our children. So there's lots of different things that we wanted for our family. We just couldn't make that happen doing it the way we were doing things.
doing it the conventional way.
Yeah, doing it that we were doing before we had kids, which was, working. We both worked full time, and that just, worked when we were single. We started having a family, and it's just, we realized that that's not working anymore. So just being open to something different, I think, was key to just starting to see the bigger picture. But again, do or die for me is I have to do this, so there's just no other way.
All right, so giving up is not an option for you guys, is what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
No, even like you said, there's been times where we've pulled back and reevaluated and just kind of recorrected our course, and it's probably happened 4 times, and I think we finally corrected and put ourselves in a really good direction lately, but it's taken whatever, call them 4 mistakes or 4 times we kind of let off the gas pedal, and now we're where we need to be at the right time, I guess.
That's awesome. And you know what? You just hit on something. I remember one of the books that Kevin Barnum actually mentioned to us was The Flight Plan by, I think, is it Brian Tracy? I'm not even sure if that's the correct author. But that's so true. We want to course correct, right? And you guys are aware that sometimes things aren't working a certain way. So you want to step back, reevaluate. And sometimes that means slowing down to speed up. And slowing down to speed up isn't a bad thing. Really checking in and making sure that your values are still in alignment with what the company values are, and making sure that you're in the right place is a good thing to just check in with, right? So I'm glad that you guys have taken the time that you've needed to really figure that out too, and not just rush through because you have been told it's the right thing to do. You need to feel that from a level within you. So I really respect that you guys have done that.
And I think one more, I think, would be you. You're one of the biggest reasons we're here, along with all those.
Yeah.
Aw, thank you guys.
We're just one of those people that we truly connected with and felt like we had the same values, and someone that we could look up to and learn from. And we're just so grateful that you've been that person for us.
Aw, I really appreciate you guys saying that, and I really mean that from the bottom of my heart, because clearly this whole business is about really helping people get to that next place. And sometimes it starts with believing in people when they don't necessarily believe in themselves. And I'm not saying that you guys didn't believe in yourself, but there are times that all of us need that person that can just say, hey, I know where you're going, and I'm so proud of where you're going. It might not feel that way right now. You might feel like it's not happening, but it really is. All those little things you're doing are really getting you to that place. So just knowing that you're enough, I think, is a really big thing. So I'm glad that I can be part of that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now I have another question here. Often people find that they compare themselves to others who are reaching fast rank advancements. We've had people on our team that have, done Crystal Executive and hit 6 figures in 6 months, or 6 figures within a year and a half, those kinds of things. How does, that make you guys feel? And have you ever felt discouraged by comparing yourself? And do you have any advice for people that are doing that right now?
Absolutely.
In the beginning, yeah, it was tough because we're so driven ourselves to, like, we figure, well, if they can do it, we can do it. But I think people have to realize that everybody's on their own journey, and it's you could do it in 2 months, maybe 1 month, but if you plan it out over a longer period of time, and you say you shoot for the moon in 7 years and you hit it in 2, well, bonus, right? I think maybe that's a better way to look at it than jumping in. But like I said, we jumped in and we were in when people were hitting those numbers, it was like, well, if they can do it, we can do it. That's how driven we were. But again, after a little while, we had to realize that it's going to work a little differently for us. We had a young family. We were getting used to being new parents, basically, too. So it's taken a little longer. But at the same point, I think we're ready to be leaders now. Maybe we weren't then, right?
And it is. It's about growing into the people that we want to become, right, for our team. And I love that you guys touched on that, because so many people, like I said, put a time limit on their success. And there are a lot of people, since you've started, who have seen all that happen and they quit because they're not doing it fast enough and they don't feel like they're successful, so they quit. But then I've also seen the other side of the coin where people do it fast. They get to that crystal executive status in 6 months, but it's not sustainable. They basically have created their consultants to get that bonus, and then those consultants all fall off, so this fast building happens, and then they all fall off, and the foundation isn't built. So you guys have taken that same road that I have, where it's growing that foundation. The foundation is the most important part of any structure, and if we try to rush through to make it a strong structure at the beginning, it can very easily tumble and fall apart. So I'm just grateful you guys saw that longer term and that vision, that it's not about something to happen overnight, and that it does take time, and it does take something from within us to become that leader, to help our team. And you guys are amazing leaders. I see it every day. And that's what gets me excited, because we see the transformation in people from every level. So it's made you probably better parents, better spouses. I know there's many gifts that I'm going to get into here, actually.
Can I add to that, Tara?
Yes, please.
It's really important for people to understand, I think. Even for myself especially, I've been an employee my whole life. I've never actually had a business, so we've had to learn those skills. So getting those basics down, if I can give anybody any advice, is to make sure that you form that foundation and you do those steps on isogenicsbusiness.com, and you really put that thought and feeling into it and get that foundation set before you go off running. I feel like that I missed out on that. We didn't do that. We just started just doing it, which I mean is great too, but I just feel like having that foundation is really important, and learning those skills along the way and focusing on that. And we're still learning to be business owners. I think that's key.
I love that. Thank you for adding that. Did you have something else, Rory?
No, I was just listening.
That's awesome. You know what? I just love that. I won't take much more time, because I know that you're busy parents and you've got a little one with you. So I have a few more questions, and one of them is, this journey isn't always easy, and I know we've touched on that a little bit, but it's worth every effort that you put in. Would you agree? I'm pretty sure you would.
Oh,
absolutely.
Times 1,000.
Even when it's been tough, it's been worth it.
Excellent. And do you have any words for people just getting started who may have experienced, or that will come into that experience of the journey that you go through, the ups and downs? Do you have any words of wisdom about the ups and downs and how to keep going forward?
I think I know we had lots of conversations, myself and you, over the tough times, even for you and myself. Like, I think it's important to find a leader that they're connected with, that they can connect with when they're having a hard time, and don't feel bad about it, calling them and asking for help, or explaining where you're at. Reach out and get that help, because sometimes it might be just something simple that you take in, and it changes exactly like how you feel and makes things a lot easier. And I know that happened with me a lot of times.
It's not suffering in silence, right? It's just reaching out and asking for help from somebody, anybody, someone that you can really learn from. So that's a great
Most
point.
people have gone through the same things that anybody new is going to go through. So there's always advice out there.
And that's the cool thing, I think you just hit on it, is that we all go through pretty similar things. It might be a different day, different kind of situation, but it all comes from that same place of, we kind of hit the same obstacles and roadblocks. So thank you for sharing that, because it really is a key part of this business, is that you're not doing this alone. You're in business for yourself, but not by yourself. So don't feel like you have to suffer in silence. So I like that you guys mentioned that. So thank you.
Something else too, Tara, if I can add to that, is I really like, I'm not even sure where I first heard it, was about just believing in 3 areas. So believing in the network marketing industry, your belief in the company, and your belief in yourself. So I think working on that and evaluating that, are you a 10 out of 10 in all those areas? And if you're not, you're reaching out to somebody and asking for help and how you can up your belief in whatever area that you need to increase your belief.
Absolutely, because we know that when we have a 10 out of 10 in belief, the worst day could happen where people are, so throwing all the objections at you or saying no to you 10 times, and you feel so deflated and you just want to, this is not for me, right? But when you have a 10 out of 10 belief in those areas, you become unstoppable, and nothing that anybody says can ever stop you. So I know for myself it took me some time to build belief in those areas, and building belief in ourselves is usually the hardest part. But there's a lot of resources for anyone watching right now, maybe just getting started. If you don't like the whole idea of network marketing, yeah, there are awesome tools, and I have a few actually to recommend. But one of them being the 4-Year Career or the Business of the 21st Century. There's some amazing, amazing books, and those types of books helped set me in that place of a 10 out of 10. So yeah, Kirsten, thank you for mentioning that, because it's so true. When we build our belief, we do become unstoppable. So, and people want to join someone that has that confidence.
GoPro is probably right there with those 2 books. Like, I'd say it might be the best of the 3.
Absolutely.
If you want a good example of network marketing, what you're going to have to do, that's probably, I'd say, one of the best books to start with.
Yes. I love them. I actually have my handful of them, and I've actually just invested in multiple, well, actually 100 copies of the 4-Year Career. But yeah, I mean, people are going to resonate with different things. You're going to find a book that really speaks to you, and maybe a year later you're going to pick up that same book and you're going to say, oh, I like the other book better. So it's amazing how those books can change your perception of what this is, and it really is about just re-educating ourselves about a different business distribution model. That's it. So yeah, thanks for that. Now, this is kind of looking at the vision of where you're headed, because I know where you've come in those few years and how much you've changed already and how many lives you've impacted. Some you may not even realize you've impacted the lives of, and by even just watching this, it's going to impact lives. Where do you see your future for your vision for your family? And I'm just looking at the family right now. So the vision for you and your family. Where do you guys see yourself in, say, 5 years?
We see ourselves being a family, being together. I think that's the biggest thing for us, is being home. Both of us, raising our children, and teaching them and living our life the way that we choose, the way that we design. So, whether it's traveling, seeing the world, and just teaching our children about life, but being able to have the time and the opportunity to do that is what we want. And that's what we're working towards.
I think their biggest class in school is going to be geography. Let's put it that way.
That's awesome. Without looking in a textbook, right? You'll be taking them to those places.
Absolutely.
That's awesome. So we'll go a step further than that. What kind of vision do you have for others that are already part of your team or people that are going to join you?
I think just to have them, same thing, figure out what their favorite goals are, but, I think instilling, just having that time freedom to have family time is the biggest thing for us. Like, I know some people don't want to always be together, but for us, we enjoy that, and I think it's important. And if we can rub off a little bit of that on people to bring family life back into this world, I think that's important to us.
So awesome, and I love that, and that's why we've aligned with each other. I think we, like attracts like, even though we didn't physically know each other before this. It's amazing how many people we find are going for the same goals, right? So that's a very wonderful, inclusive way to have, because we really want that for all families. We want freedom of choice, and you guys are right there with that. So
what's really important to me too is just helping more women see that there's a better way. I feel like there's so many women out there who have the desire to reach out and make a difference in their community or make a difference in the world somewhere, but they can't do that because, I don't know about you, but working 40 hours a week and then coming home and, taking care of my family and trying to spend some time with them and spend some time with my husband. I don't have time for that at the end of the day. I'm too exhausted. So that time freedom.
Never mind.
to be with family, and then being able to reach out in whatever way we choose to make a difference. So there's a quote by the Dalai Lama that's just sort of hooked itself on me, and I've been stuck on it, and it's, the world will be changed by the Western woman, because she has the resources and she has the way to do that, but she doesn't have the time to do that. So we need to start reaching out to people and just saying, you know what, there's another way that you can make your dreams happen and also make a difference in the world. So when you get to the end of your life, you say, wow, that was amazing, and I made such a difference in, other people's lives, or, I really did the things that I wanted to do with my life, rather than feeling like you're stuck in a job because that's what you're supposed to do.
Thank you so much, you guys, and I really appreciate the time that you've taken to really educate and help other people, because your story is really a powerful one, and I'm so grateful that I'm aligned with you and I'm partnered with you, and that we have a lot of unfinished business to do in the world. So I'm really looking forward to the future, and I look back on the past and I'm so grateful for where we've come together, and I'm really proud of you guys for what you're doing and what you're doing for your team. And there's a lot of people that don't even know about this yet, and you are going to change their life. So thank you so much, guys, for everything that you're doing.
Thank you so much for being that person that's always there for us and helping us along the way. We really appreciate it.
Our fearless leader.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. Well, you have a great night, and I will be publishing this, if that's okay with you, on the web right now.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
All right. Take care, you guys.
See you soon.
Good night.
Sage.
You know